My name is Chandria. Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. So today, I have a lot of stuff. um, I'm going to talk about my wrap up of the 12 days of stitching, and then the next big thing is my New Year's Eve 12 by 12 plans, and then I've got a few other things. I have a couple of books to talk about at the end. Some of my favorite floss tubers do a book talk at the end, and I really enjoy that content, but I will keep it at the end in case you're not interested. So yeah, let's get into it. The first thing I want to go over, and that's going to encompass my FFOs, my finishes, and my whips, is going to be the 12 days of stitching summary. So a couple of these, today is December 29th. I have 2 more days to stitch in number 12 of the 12 days of stitching. I currently only have 11. I wanted to go ahead and get this out because I wanted to talk about my New Year's Eve 12 by 12 plans. So a couple of these you've already seen in my whip parade, but in case you didn't see that, I'm going to go ahead and include them all in a nice concise list here. So number 1, which I actually finished this on December 1st for the Jingle Ball class on December 2nd. So I'd already done pre-stitching on this, but this is the Season's Greetings by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So this was exclusive to the Jingle Ball, and I think exclusive to their class. I'm not sure that you could even buy it outside of the class. I finished this using all of the kit materials, and then I just have it sitting on one of these plastic I don't even know what you call this. They come in a pack of 12 for like $6 on Amazon. I like that they're clear. They don't distract. And you can get them in all different height sizes. So yeah, if anyone's interested, I can share the link that I got this. So this is number 1. It's back from work, so I can show you in person. That was exciting. I think in my whip parade. No, my previous finishes parade, it was just a photo. So the next FFO is going to be a gift, and I will insert a picture. This is Festive Mothman by the Witchy Stitcher. This was a Patreon. I think it's exclusive, but it'll be coming out for everyone next holiday season. It was part of the 12 Days of Creepmas, and this was day number 1. I saw this. I have friends who actually went to the Point Pleasant, like the Mothman statue, and I think there's a museum, the whole thing. So I immediately was like, gotta do that. Forget their other plans. We're gonna do this and get that to them in time for Christmas. And I did. I got that finished and fully finished. It's wonderful. So that was stitched on 32 count Basalt, I don't know, Splash Lugana by Zweigart. Started on 12/16 and finished on 12/17 in 6 hours and 40 minutes. So then we'll go into the finishes. The first one you saw during the previous finishes parade, because I'd already had this one finished, but it was still part of 12 Days of Christmas. So this is Not a Creature in Sight. So I did mine from a Just Cross Stitch magazine, So I think mine was actually called Not a Creature in Sight, but I think it may have a slightly different title if you get it off the one, if you get the one off their website. So this was a mystery linen, either 36, but I'm pretty sure it was 40 count. And I used the called for weeks for the lettering, and then DMCs for everything else. And that was started on 12/8, finished on 12/9 in 4 hours and 48 minutes. Next, this one was a complete start and finish, so you haven't seen this one. And I did modify it. So this is Cozy Christmas Cat by the Blue Flower. And I can pop in a photo of what it is technically supposed to look like. But I really, really just love this cat. I didn't really care about the berries around it, and I thought that it was absolutely precious as is, so I just stitched the cat. So this is done on 32 count Chai Love You opalescent linen by Fabulous Yummy Fibers, and then I just used random colors that I already had down in around my stitchy area from all my Christmas whips. So they're in the spirit of the called for, but they are not the called for. This was started on 12/21 and finished on 12/22 in 4 hours and 37 minutes. The last finish is Polar Bear Peak by Hands On Design. So this is one of the Polar Plunge series, maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago. This is done on 32 count Sea Spray Lugana, linen, not Lugana, by Seraphim Fabrics. I started this on 12/3 and finished it on 12/26 in 9 hours and 2 minutes. There is quite a little bit of confetti for the snow, some back stitching. Oh, but it's so cute. I have all of the others kitted up with the same fabric, and I'm going to start another one for the New Year's Eve 12x12 and just keep going because these are precious. Okay, so the rest of the 12 days of stitching are just whips. So I didn't finish them. Some of them didn't get a ton of progress, but it is what it is. So the first one that I have is To All a Good Night by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I will pop in a photo of what it looked like before as part of my whip parade. All I had were these little houses, but here's what I have now. So I just had these little houses, and I've put in these trees, started on the border. Closer. You might can see a little of the sparkle. This is on 28 count opal linen, and the needleminder is from Rebel Stitcher Designs. I thought it really matched the theme. It was so cute. Okay. Next is The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. So I recharted and modified mine just a little bit to take out the little A-frame cabin there. The cabin. I just didn't care about it, and I really wanted that fox to just be the entirety of the piece. So I smushed it in like 5 stitches or something and put, I think I moved this tree up and added another snowflake or something to just take that spot, but it'll be a while before you see that. So for now, I think I got like 100 stitches. So this is where I'm at. Not sure. This may have been in my whip parade, probably hasn't changed. So this one is going to be one of the New Year's Eve 12x12 ones as well. So that's why I already have a hanging thread, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So the next 2 I don't have photos for, so I'll input photos of what they're supposed to look like. The first one is Holly Jolly Sampler by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And here is what I have. This is 32 count Vintage Country Mocha Lugana. It is Lugana this time. And this one I also modified. I'm taking out the alphabet and just moving the little presents up. But yep. And then next, this is the Mama Witch X Stitch Christmas 2023 Patreon style. The first animal. These are dense. They are super cute, but there's like 30 colors, and I think it's like 1,600 stitches plus, like between 16 and 1,700 stitches. Between 16 and 1,700 stitches. So here is what I have. I think I showed this in my whip parade, so I can pop up a comparison photo if I did. Yep. This needleminder is from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I don't. The one on the fox is also from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I think that's it. Oh, I forgot the fabric for the fox. 32 count Dusk Lugana Fiber on a Whim. Okay. Next is Silver Bells by Lindy Stitches. Come on. There, I think you can see it now. It is a very festive, fancy peacock. So this is what I have. Just the lettering. Needleminder is from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this is 32 count white Lugana. So if you even count, this next one's number 11. And it is Stardew Valley Christmas by Glitch Stitch AU. And here is what I have. Started in the center, and the only thing you can really tell so far is the door of the house. This needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So number 12, I haven't started yet. I have 2 options. So I can either I have them both kitted and ready to go. I just haven't decided which one to do yet. So the first one, I'll pop up a photo because my picture is absolutely tiny. It's called Snow Much Fun at the North Pole by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So I have that with just a 28 count coastal lugana, little scrap piece. That's one option. And then the other option, again, I'll pop up a photo, is one of the Lola Crow Cryptid Christmas ornaments. And then I have that on 32 count black lugana. So I'm not sure, there'll be a surprise for everyone at the next video which one I end up doing for number 12 of the 12 days of stitching. So I had one other FFO. It was a gift, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that here. Doesn't really fit in anywhere else in the plans. But this was a gift for my grandma. It is an angel ornament kit by Mill Hill. I just used all the kit floss and beads. This one, when I got it, the other Mill Hill kits that I've done have been stitching with bead accents. This one was 100% beads. There were no stitches except with the beads on it. I'm not gonna do that again. That was absolutely awful. I miscounted in a couple places. So one of the wings is not as tall as the other. They don't lay right. The beads don't lay right, but it's cute. It's on a tree. She loved it. So it is what it is, but I'm not doing another one of those again. Okay. So I don't have so I'm not going to follow the standard Flosstube layout just because the next part plans is gonna be the majority of this. I have my New Year's Eve 12 by 12 plans. So if you're unfamiliar, I will put a link in the description of someone that you can find out more information about it. But I believe the initial idea was to have one start per hour for the 12 hours leading up to New Year's. I'm mostly doing that. There's all sorts of different variations. You can do like one project for 12 hours. You can do 12 different whips. However, it's just another fun little thing to get you stitching. So I have some sad starts from, if you haven't seen the whip parade, there are some sad starts. And there's also a lot of projects that I have kitted that I want to start because you can't finish them if you don't start them. So that's what I'm going to do. I have 12 different projects that were either, like, I think the ones that I have that were already started were from Mania, and I think they had like 100 stitches. And then I had a couple like Christmas wreath, if you'll remember, had like 5 stitches. So just projects like that. I have went through and in order to maximize the amount of actual stitching time in each of those hours, I have went ahead and got everything in a hoop or a Q-snap or something like that. They've all got needles, needleminders. all the fabrics wrangled, the and I also have the threads. So most of them are going to be center starts, just it's easy. So I have found the midpoint. I've picked the color that I'm going to start with, got it on a needle, and got a couple stitches in. So that's why, if you'll remember, I'll go ahead and show that one again here. Get it out of my pile. That's going to be the fox. So this one had about 100 stitches, and this is about the max. So it's either 100 stitches or less is what I have in all of these. Here's what that looks like again. The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. And these are in no particular order. I am going to just pick what I feel like for each hour. They're all going to be ready and go from there. So I will start with after the fox, so that's number 1. Then I'll do Dear Santa, which is a kit by Satsuma Street. If you remember from my whip parade, this one had, I think, 104 stitches. So then we're just going to go in order of my pile. So the next one is going to be Holiday Meerkats by the Blue Flower. This is the holiday card from 2023. I got this at the Jingle Ball, but I don't think it's exclusive. The meerkats were members at the Cincinnati Zoo, and some of my favorite animals are the meerkats. They're precious. The meerkats and the manatees. So here is what I have, where I'm going to be starting at. I think I would just put in 2 stitches in the middle. This needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and this fabric is 32 count Nightshade linen by Bee Stitch Me. So next we have Warm Hearts by Something in Common. And if you recall, I had started this in the wrong orientation. So this is a long piece, and I had started it going the opposite way. So I had one of the little bunnies and half of another one that I had to pick out in preparation for this. But we're good now. I picked it out and got 3 stitches in. This is 32 count Azure Blue Lugana. I'm just using all the call for DMCs. And this needleminder is a Disney pin of Jacques that I made into a needleminder. So next is Winter Wonderland by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I have that bead pack as well. I'm so excited. And here we go. This will be where I'm starting. This is 32 count, no, 28 count coastal lugana by Picture This Plus. And that needleminder is a custom, because I love Scooby Doo, from one of my friends. Next is the second one I'm doing of the, I don't think I'm doing them in order. I think they were released in a certain order, but I'm just doing whichever one I like. Of the Polar Plunge series by Hands On Design. So this one is N is for Narwhal. This one, I believe, was the last one in the set, and you can only get this one as a PDF on her website. The others you can only get as hard copies. But this one, I believe, is the charity pattern. But I know you can only get that one as a PDF on our website. So, this one is 32 count Sea Spray linen by Seraphim Fabrics. 2 stitches, 2, maybe 3 stitches. And the needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Speaking of manatees, my other favorite animal at the zoo, this is Merry Manatees by Lindy Stitches. So the main model is stitched as a drum, but this top portion here is what the full length pattern is. And so you can see, you got like a little turtle with packages, got a mama and a baby manatee. The baby has Christmas lights. Everything is festive, little festive fish. I love it. So this is 32 count Princess linen by Be Stitch Me. And the needleminder is a pin that I turned into a needleminder. I'm really not sure where that one came from. Next is Snowy Snuggles Scrapbook. So, this I got at the Jingle Ball, and this one may have been exclusive. You can either do it as the ornaments, but I'm going to do it in the full thing there. It comes in 2 parts. One's from Lindy Stitches and one's from the Blue Flower. I'm going to start in the middle with that Snowy Snuggles. But this one is just so cute. It's all based on people's pets around Christmas time. So, there's even like a bunny. Oh, the kitty's getting into everything. So cute. So, this is... Let me check, make sure I get the right name. Okay, so this is 16 count Silver Fox Ada by Fiber on a Whim. And the needleminder is a pin that I made myself because since this one's themed on people's pets, I have pet rats. So I did a rat needleminder. My pile's getting very precarious. Okay. Next is a Wintry Mix by Sue Hillis Designs. So again, you can either do this as the trees or the full length, and I'm doing it as the full length. So This is 18 count Color Happens, Ada, by Fiber on a Whim. And the needleminder is a Disney pin. New shoe. Three more. So the next one is Holiday Quaker by Leela Studio. I have wanted to start this for so long, but I have been stalling because I have Halloween Quaker as a whip. And that one, that was the first piece that I ever started on something that wasn't Ada. Terrible decision. I messed up, miscounted so many times, and so that's why I haven't gotten any farther on it than what I have. And I really didn't want to have both of these at the same time, but then they're two different seasons. I'm not going to be working on them at the same time, and I had them both, so you know what? On a side note, I highly recommend don't start on murky if you're going to start on something dark. Don't start on something dark if you're going to start linen or lugana from Ada. Don't do that first. And just get like an ornament cut pack from, you know, one of your favorite fabric dyers, or I think I got one from 123 Stitch that was just a random assortment. And do a couple ornaments, get used to it. It's not hard, it's just a different way of looking at, you know, the holes. And I just set myself up for failure with starting with something so big, dark fabric, and then just... Anyway, don't recommend it, but Holiday Quaker. This is, yeah. So this one was a upper left-hand corner start. And this is, oh, we're falling. This is 18 count glass elevator. Ada by Forbidden Fiber Co. Okay. Next is Cozy Cafe by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is just so cute. Here is where I am on it. This is 32 count Chai Love You Opal Linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. This needleminder is one I made myself from a pin. And the pin is from Ghoulish Bunny Studios. Had to check the back. So that one's one I started for Mania that has like 100 stitches. And then, last but not least, is Christmas Wreath. So I have a pretty decent chunk of Halloween wreath done. I have the house, and it's very similar to this. So I'm talking about Halloween wreath, but I'm just going to point to this picture. So I have the middle house done, and then this portion here. So the bow is purple, and then I have like a couple chunks on each side. So sure, let's start Christmas wreath that I've wanted to start for a while. So this one, I have a few stitches in the roof of the house. This is 32 count Vintage Country Mocha Lugana. and the needleminder is from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And that is it as far as talking about FOs, FFOs, whoops. I think I covered all that. And obviously the plans is for New Year's Eve. As far as other plans, such as how often I plan on filming, I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to do every 2 weeks, maybe every month, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. It may depend on life. If it is a really busy month, I probably won't have enough to show you every 2 weeks, so it'd be every month. But right now, where there's a lot of downtime, there's a lot of vacation time from work, so I've been doing a lot of stitching. 2 weeks, I have quite a bit of stuff to show. So I think it'll just depend. I do a lot of audits for work, so during audit season, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. I think we're gonna go ahead and move into book talk. I do have, I get the Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month Club. I haven't got mine for December yet though, so I'll show that next time. I don't really have haul. Anything that I do have, I'll show next time. Just compile together. I do have some knitting that I'd like to talk about in future videos, but again, this one's already kind of long just because I had the 12 Days of Stitching wrap up and the New Year's Eve 12 by 12, so we're gonna skip that for now. But I do want to talk about books because I'm going through those relatively quickly, so I don't want to have too many to talk about at a single time. So we're gonna tack that on here. So yeah, if you are not interested in that, I still really appreciate you clicking on this video and spending a little time with me and seeing what I've been up to. It really makes me happy. It makes my day to see your comments and to see new subscribers pop up in my notifications. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. But if you're ready to stick around for books, let's get into that. So I'll pop up photos of these, the cover photos. I've got a few to talk about. So there are 2 series finishes that I had recently, like late November, early December, and so I figured I'd talk about those that I would recommend, and then specific books. So the first series that I finished was the Uglies series. This series is by Scott Westerfield. It is a dystopian, young adult, I'd say, novel series. So there's 3 books in the original trilogy, and then there's one additional one that is set a couple years in the future from those, with a different main character. The thing that I really liked about these is I felt like it was pretty original for a dystopian novel. There was no Hunger Games-esque, nothing like that. It was, so the first one was, the first 3 were kind of reminiscent of the, was it an 80s thing with like movies of bad mega corporations just being really scummy. That I'm thinking of like Aliens here with and Umbrella Corporation and just big bad megacorps. And this kind of reminded me of something like that in the city. In this world, each city has like its own government. They're relatively isolated. They have some trade routes, but they're not like backed up against each other. In between each populated city are these ruins from the Rusty era, and that's our era. So there's really cool descriptions of hoverboarding, which sounds phenomenal. I don't know, it's just so fun. And what I think was original about it is the main character is, in my opinion, kind of an anti-hero. You don't like her all the time, and you definitely don't consider her a reliable narrator. But at the same time, like, you see why she does what she does. She has a lot of really bad luck and falls into really bad situations. I don't know. I just really liked the first three with the first main character, Tally. And then the last one, which was called Extras. That one was interesting, but I didn't like it as much as the first three. I reread this series when I was younger. I read the at least the first two Uglies and Pretties, but I don't think I finished the series, and I wanted to find out what happened, and then I figured out that there was a fourth one, so then I just reread the whole series. But the Extras was really unique in that it discussed a reputation-based culture instead of like a meritocracy where you are how useful you are to the society is sort of how you get rewarded. Like, if you're a doctor, you're going to be useful and therefore be wealthier, more respected. This is, the more famous you are, the more wealthy and respected you are. And you can get fame in a variety of ways, but for the most part, it's by being like a reality TV star. So that was really interesting. And again, like, the main character, you don't like her for most of the book. And I like that. I think it's original, it's new, it's a little something different. So, okay. So that's the first series. The second series is the Wayward Pines series by Blake Crouch. So again, I believe this is a trilogy. And this, if you've ever read a Blake Crouch novel, you will know that they are very fast-paced, and they are very hard to put down because you've gotta know what happens next. This was so good. It also really threw me at the end. It was certainly, like, the first one certainly was not what I expected. And then the whole series, all three of them were like that. You thought you could sort of guess, and then you're completely thrown for a loop. And then you read the next one, and now you sort of think you know what's going on, and then you get thrown for a loop. All three of them. But they're so good. So these are, I would say, sci-fi with some dystopia. But you don't necessarily know that part. Like, I'm not spoiling anything. You're not going to be able to guess from what I'm saying. But yeah, there's there's a dystopian edge to it as well. But I would mostly classify that one as sci-fi. So these, I'm not really talking about plots in these, am I? If anything I'm saying about them sounds interesting, I hope that you go and check them out. Check them out on Goodreads. I have my Goodreads information linked below, and you can look these up. I'm talking about how much I like them. I'm really not giving like a plot summary. That's a lot easier to just Google and find a plot summary, you know? So yeah, anyway, the Wayward Pine series, I think this may have been classified as horror by some of the people that I had just seen like a classification on Goodreads for. I wouldn't consider it horror. Maybe, I mean, you could call it a thriller. Anything Blake Crouch writes could be a thriller. Just again, the fast-paced, like, constant something happening. So you could call it a thriller. But yeah, I would definitely just sci-fi. That would be my generic stamp on it. But yeah, those are great. So then I've got 3 separate books, just the books. The first one is 99 Coffins. So this one is book 2 in a series. I'm honestly not sure how many there are. This is by David Wellington. I actually can tell you. So it looks like there's 5. Looks like there's 5 in the series. I just finished book 2. I had never heard of these. I believe I first found the first one because of Libby. I read most of my books either as ebooks or as audiobooks. So I use Libby. It's a free app through your library where you put in your library card, and if your library participates, has a deal with Libby, you can check out books digitally, both ebooks and audiobooks. So that's what I do. And on the main page for your library, when you first log in, like, you can either, open the app. You can look at librarian picks from your library, or you can look at your shelves. So what you have checked out and what you have on hold. So sometimes, and I try not to because I always find new things to add to my TBR, but my library homepage had the 99 Coffins as one of the always available books for this week. So there were no holds. You could just check it out. Unlimited copies for that week, whatever. So I was like, okay. It has vampire teeth, like big teeth on the front. Okay, sure. We'll see what this is. So I just clicked on it and read the information. Sounded fascinating. Found out it was number 2 in the series, so I went back and checked out the first one first. The first one was obviously good enough for me to check out the second one and read it, and the second one I liked way better. I would classify these as horror. Kind of, I wouldn't say they're super gory, but they're kind of gory. These are not your friendly, sexy vampires. These are monsters who just want to eat you, and you are a meat bag that they're gonna rip apart to get to the blood. So if you're into that sort of thing, especially, so the first one I read around the October time frame, because it was the perfect time for that. And then this the second one came up for me to check out, so Yeah, sure. It's December. Let's read a horror um vampire novel, sure. But I don't know. I guess I try to read some spooky things in the spooky season, but I'm not super that's the only time I'm going to read them. That like I'm not super seasonal on my book reading. So yeah, but it was really good. So the first one was definitely more, it's not really a police procedural, but it was a little more like we're just tracking down the vampire. This one had some historical aspects. It had some Civil War like documents that were like excerpts from these documents, which were like letters and like transcriptions from people in the war discussing the vampires. So that was really fascinating. Yeah, really liked it. I think I gave that one 4 stars just because I wouldn't read it over and over again, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, 2 more, and then I will let you go. This may have turned into a longer talk about books than I expected. So, the next one is the Andromeda Evolution. So this is by Michael Crichton and Daniel H. Wilson. If anyone is familiar, Michael Crichton, God, I hope I'm saying his last name right, wrote Jurassic Park, and he also wrote The Andromeda Strain. There's been like a mini series, there's been a movie. That one's relatively popular. I had no earthly idea there was a second one. And I don't know, honestly, if this was based on his The Andromeda Strain book and was therefore he's credited as an author, but this was technically written by someone else after his death. I don't know. I'm really not sure. But it was good. It's written similarly, but a little different from the Andromeda Strain. I will just give sort of like a basic overview of this. This is sci-fi. This is a something that a weather satellite, put that in quotations, falls out of the sky in a tiny town of Piedmont, Arizona, and kills the entire population of the town. A special government group called Project Wildfire attempt to determine what the problem is and how to solve it. So that is the very basic overview of the Andromeda Strain. It's very scientific. This was written, I don't know, maybe the 80s? Let's see. Earlier, first published in 1969. So, some of the descriptions of the technology were probably very far-fetched at the time. Now it wasn't really too far-fetched, but it's definitely sci-fi. And like I said, it's very sciencey. It's very nerdy. I love it. I fell in love with this in like 7th grade biology. Like I love it. But anyway, yeah, so the second one I did not like as much. So the first one, it like I said, it's sciencey, it's nerdy, technical. There's a lot of technical details, which I'm sure will turn a lot of people off. The second one doesn't have as much of that. It reads a lot more like, okay, here's a basic project outline, but we're gonna put a lot of prose in it. It's a story within the very basic framework of like reading a project dossier or something. So that honestly could have just been left out. It would have been fine. But that is the way that the Andromeda Strain, the first one, was written. You are like handed a case file, and it has excerpts. It has sheets of old school printer paper. I mean, recreated like old school printer paper. I don't even know what you call that, but it's like all caps with line. I don't know. This one is a lot more written normally and not like that. But the story, though, I don't think was as good. It was easier to read, but it was not as well executed. And to be honest, it got really far-fetched really fast, and I was like, I know this is sci-fi, but I don't know about this. So when a story starts out super, super far-fetched in the future, that's one thing. You start to realize, okay, so this is the world that I'm in. Yeah, this is kind of crazy, but this is the world, and we're gonna get in that mindset, and we're gonna go with the flow. So then they throw something like, oh, you can chop off an arm and regrow a human. I just made that up, but, you know, something nuts. And you're like, oh, okay, sure, because that fits in with this world, right? They try to pull something like this in this one, and it's just like, wait, we're in like a relatively normal, like realistic era here, and then you're trying to throw some like crazy far-fetched sci-fi tropes at me. No, like I don't buy it. It does not compute. So I think I gave that one 4 stars because the writing was really well done and I did enjoy it, but the ending really took me out of it. But if you like sci-fi, if you were fans of the original Andromeda Strain, it's worth a read. So that's what I have read. I have 2 things that I'm just going to basically mention as what I'm upcoming to read next. I have started Fourth Wing. It is the Black Needle Society Books with BNS book club book for the next book club. I think that one's bi-monthly, so it should be maybe February, maybe January. I don't know. I need to check. But I didn't read the last book. It just really wasn't up my alley. So I didn't participate in the call for that one. So that's why I'm not sure when the next date is. But the book is Fourth Wing, so we're going to see what the fuss is about. I'm not going to talk about that one at all, other than just I'm reading it. We'll see. And then I am also going to start Shady Hollow, which, if anyone attended the Jingle Ball and watched the entertainment done by the designers, the ballroom entertainment, the one of the designers of the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery talked about a cozy mystery series about animals, and one of them's an amateur sleuth. Just a cozy mystery, and the first one's called Shady Hollow. So I couldn't get this. These are not available through Libby, through my library. I really didn't want to use an Audible credit on it because they're very short, so I sort of felt like a waste. But I had some Amazon, what do you call them? No rush shipping digital credits. So I got the ebook pretty cheap for the first one to read that. So, I mean, cozy mysteries are not normally my jam, but I will give just about anything a try. I mean, I talked about YA dystopia, vampire horror, and sci-fi in this set, so clearly I don't stick to a genre. So yeah, we're gonna, those are on my radar to read. I don't know what else I'll get up to reading. I just read what calls to me off my Libby list. So so we'll see. But those two for sure. And then I did want to just mention, I already mentioned the Books with Black Needle Society book club. That is free. There's a Facebook group for that if you're interested. And then the other book club that is going on starting in 2024 is a subscription through Forbidden Fiber Co. It's called Novel Notions. The first genre for that subscription is dystopian. So that's why I wanted to mention that one. The last day to sign up for that subscription, you can also do it month to month. So you can just buy January for the dystopian if you want to. There's a yarn club and a cross stitch club, and you can get the book included. So you don't have to include it, but you can get the book in your box if you want to. What's the other details? I'm not sure, but look those up. I'll put some information in the description box below for more information to look that up. I think that's it, guys. For real this time. Thanks for sticking with me. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If any of these books sound like something you're interested in, let me know. Add me on Goodreads. I'm always interested to talk books with people about as much as I'm interested in talking about cross stitch. So please just let me know. If you give any of these a try, or if you read them and had completely different experiences, let me know. Everybody's different, so I'm not going to be offended if you absolutely hated something that I said I really liked, or vice versa. But yeah, thank you so much. And again, I'm not really sure on my filming schedule. Probably 2 weeks on this one, just because I'm gonna have the wrap up of the New Year's Eve 12x12 to go over that. If I don't have enough other content, I'll probably just go ahead and just do that as like a Flosstube extra, but we'll see. But yeah, I hope you saw something you liked. I hope you want to stick around. I hope you come back for more and talk to me. I'm really excited about this community and being a part of it. So yeah, talk to you guys next time. Bye.